Well, we had so much fun here at Warwick Farm last week for the Trackwork show. We thought, why not come back and do it all over again ahead of Saturday's Apollo Stakes. We have the latest from the trainers ahead of racing returning to Randwick. Kieran, you're coming off a fantastic weekend across the country, particularly in Melbourne. Pride of Jenny was super. What's her next plan?
Yeah, she was super. She looked like she was going to run fourth, but she just has that wheel that not many horses have. So pulled up really well. She would have known she had a decent race, decent hit out, but she has come up really well and probably better than last time round. She's got options, the Futurity, the Chipping Norton up here in Sydney. And then, she holds a spot in the All-Star Mile as well. So, we'll just see how she is, but you may well see her up here in Sydney.
That would be very exciting for us. Let's have a look to your runners on the weekend. We have Samana dual nommed for either the Apollo or the Triscay. We haven't seen her since she was a winner up on the Gold Coast. How has she come on since then, and what are your thoughts?
She's come on really well. Probably her best win. She was really dominant. Some 3 wide, no cover, and just blew them away. So she's pretty exciting. We're sort of on a path towards the Coolmore. So I thought the Triscay this weekend over 6 furlongs, she's freshened up on the beach up there at Bob's Farm, or the Apollo as an option as well, but I'm sort of leaning towards the Triscay.
Tis Invincible, the big girl in the Light Fingers Stakes, resuming. She's had 2 really nice trials back in so far this prep. Are you happy with her work this week?
Very happy. She's just her whole prep this time around. James sat on her the other day and just said, geez, she's really developed, and was pretty impressed. Trials have been great, and just really furnished. She sort of carried a coat, even though she was winning. She could have looked better last time around, whereas this time around she looks great. She's furnished, and I think she's in for a really good prep.
You do also have Ruthless Dame nommed for the Triscay, but you'll wait with her perhaps?
Yeah, I think so. Couldn't have been more impressive in the trial the other day. She's heading towards a new market. She's won down the straight, and handicap probably suits her. So I'll just see how she is and have a chat to the owners again, which are pretty buoyant at the moment. But that's sort of what we're thinking.
Nice to see you here at Trackwork on a Tuesday morning. How are you enjoying Sydney life?
Oh, I love it. It's great, actually. Alice and Eliza, she kept me up a fair bit last night, but it's great. Sales are on, we've got a few, and life's pretty good.
Bjorn, you had a great weekend across Friday and Saturday night with the 5 winners, and of course you pulled through for us in the last race, Bjorn, training the final on the program there at Royal Randwick.
No, it worked out really well. So 4 days in a row, I think we won the last race, Wednesday to Saturday inclusive, and it was a good weekend. A great week. It doesn't always work out like that way, so we're thrilled.
Okay. All right, well, let's look ahead to the weekend then, and we'll start things with Malkovich. You've got listed to run either in the Expressway or the Apollo. Which way are you leaning? Yeah,
more than likely the Expressway. He's good last time. The Expressway is going to be another step up, though, no doubt about it. 1200, still a little bit of a question mark, but he worked well this morning with Josh.
Then we move to the Light Fingers, and you've got Infatuation and Steffi Magnetica. Which way are you leaning with Infatuation? Because I know she's also nommed in Melbourne.
She'll go down to Melbourne. Jai McNeil rides her, and I think the 1400 at Flemington will really suit her. Work this morning was very good left-handed. I'm very confident she'll be hard to beat. I think she's come through her last win in really, really good order, and I think that form is going to hold her in very good stead in Melbourne. And Steffi Magnetica will go to the Light Fingers. Josh Parr rides her. She's been very unlucky her last 2. Work this morning was very, very good. Off that alone, I think she's got to be a big chance, but she's going to have to really run well against probably some of the best fillies in the country.
Another mare stepping up off a last start win is Diamond Dealer. You've got her nom for the Triscay there in the Group 3. How's she come through that last win at Rosehill?
Yeah, she's had a little bit of time between runs. She's not the most straightforward filly at home, so she does a lot of her work on the treadmill, and we just try and change things up with her. So it's always a little bit unknown when you go into a race, but she gets in with no weight. She's a fit mare, and she's going to be in there as a rough chance. It's hard to know what's going to accept. There's some good mares in there. Whether they all line up, we'll just have to wait and see.
In the benchmark 78, you've got Thunderlips, who was the last start winner at Warwick Farm, that son of Zoostar, and he just looks an absolute picture in this prep. I know you guys have an opinion of him.
Yeah, we've always had a good opinion. He was very good at Warwick Farm, and I think the 1400 probably suits. It's a race we'll definitely look at. He galloped well this morning, and I think you've got to be in to win. He gets in with a pretty good weight, and I think he's a horse possibly still on the ride, so he could be well placed there Saturday.
We've got a big team in on Friday night as well. Instead of running through all of them, are there any that we should be keeping an eye out for?
We've got a few in the Evening Star. I think Tara Shock, Ita, Glontorn, and they're all a chance. They're probably the ones to watch out for.
Matty, big weekend ahead for you. We see the return of Buenos Noches. He's had 2 trials back in for his first up run in Saturday's Expressway Stakes. How did he work this morning?
He's been good. He's had a good trouble-free prep, and look, I've been pleased with his trials. Work was good today, so excited about seeing him on the weekend. He's certainly a really good colt, so expect him to really fire on Saturday, hopefully.
He's such a big, strong horse. I remember the first day he stepped out, I think it was at Warwick Farm, and he's just come into himself and really filled into that big frame. And the pennies just dropped with him now, hasn't it?
Yeah, last prep was good. I mean, went a bit south in Melbourne for one run, but he was good down the straight again, and he's just had a nice break and come back sharper, and he just looks really well on himself, so no room for a good prep.
And what was he asked to do this morning?
He had a nice gallop on the grass over 1,000 metres today, just a sharp last 400, just to clean him up in the wind and get his mind on the job, and he was really good.
French Endeavour ran a few eye-catching runs last preparation, and she looks like she's come back in really nice order off her first up run at Rose Hill. Will we perhaps see her in the light fingers on Saturday?
Yeah, look, I'll just see what happens with the track on Saturday. We've also got an on for Melbourne, so I thought she was really good first up, and she's forward, so we'll see what happens with the track. I mean, there's some pretty sharp fillies in that race, and she's probably better at 1400 than 12, so probably leaning towards Melbourne at this stage.
Do you expect her to get out over further past that 1400? Does she look a filly who's well kept to go out to the mile?
Yeah, look, I do. I'm not sure if she will. We tried her at a mile last time in, but she just had a poor post-race recovery. I'd certainly like to try her at the mile first, make a decision once we get there. She'd buy Rubik. I'm not sure if she'll get beyond the mile, but certainly 14 to a mile should be well within her range.
Real eye-catcher first up there it was. In the benchmark 88, you do have Estefeni nommed, who's got a decent weight on his back, and then Miracle Spin, who's had a tick-over trial. How are they both?
Yeah, Miracle's great. We just freshened him a little bit off his Melbourne trip, and his trial was excellent. He's good. The mile should be perfect for him. Estefeni's coming back. His first up. Difficult to find races for him at this time, so look, he'll need a run or two, Esty, to hit his top. So he most likely goes around, but he'll take a run for sure.
You also have Time Quest nommed in the benchmark 78 on Saturday, who we haven't seen in quite some while, hasn't raced since July, but has had a really nice recent trial. Are you happy with him?
Very happy with him. We sort of held him back a little bit due to the tracks being a bit firm, so we've waited with him. I thought his trial was good, his work was good this morning, and look, he'll take good benefit from the first up run, but certainly he's full enough to run well. But I think once he gets a run or two under his belt, he'll sort of hit his peak fitness and he'll go from there.
And then lastly, Colour Sergeant you have in on Friday night. We saw him when he last raced in the Nowra Cup, and since then he's had a tick-over trial, which he was the eventual winner of, beating Athelflaed as well. What do you make of him?
Yeah, look, he was a tad disappointing at Nowra, and he had his blood was just a bit off for a couple of weeks, so we just pitched him back to the farm, freshened him up a bit. I thought his trial was good the other day, and his work's been excellent. His gallop on Saturday was excellent. I think he'll definitely bounce back to run very well Friday. He hasn't run for some time, so I guess whatever he does, he'll improve on it, but certainly on his track work, he'll run well.
And just an update on Athelflaed as well. How's she?
Yeah, she's good. Had a nice gallop this morning. Happy with the way she's ticking over. She'll kick off her preparation, I think, next week, and she'll most likely go to the Randwick Guineas second up, and then she'll head to back to the Phillies races through to the Oaks.
James, let's recap from the weekend. NCAT resuming. He ran third. I thought he was pretty super return.
Yeah, we're really happy with that run. He jumped well, but he was on his top basically the whole way. But the thing we really liked was how eye-catching he was through the line. He was very strong, and Jason Collett said it'll be hard to beat over 1400, so the Hobart Bill in 2 weeks looks perfect for him.
And his recovery, he's come back in nice order through it?
Yeah, he's pulled up great. Just went for a trot and canter this morning. It looks absolutely super, so we're very much on track.
All systems go. Let's look ahead to the weekend then. You have Komochi resuming in the light fingers. We haven't seen her since she ran in the Caulfield Guineas. It was a super run.
Yeah, can't wait to see her back. Obviously, she had a really big spring prep. A couple of hard luck stories. Looks unlucky to have not won that Group 1 yet, but looks like a great race for her on Saturday to kick off in.
And she worked on the weekend, and did she do anything this morning, gallop, or was she just easy this morning?
She had a solid gallop on Saturday morning, was very, very impressive, pulled up really well, so she looks ready to go, and she's going to have a nice easy week now as we head into Saturday.
Similarly, we were just chatting before about Tender Eyes, who's a horse who I've added to the Black Book off his recent trials. We see him there nommed for Friday night. When did he do his last piece of fast work?
Yeah, he worked on Saturday morning as well, worked really, really strongly, so he'll just have a nice easy week this week, and can't wait to see him back at the races. He's shown a lot of potential, so this looks like we could see the best from this time through.
Is he one that we should be following into Friday night? Are we happy with him first up?
Yeah, I think he's pretty close to the mark, so if he draws a good gate, he should be very competitive on Friday.
You also have Chronology nommed there for the maiden plate on Friday night too, first up. How's he off the one trial?
Yeah, he's going really well. His trial at Kembla was very, very eye-catching. He went to the line under a stranglehold and pulled up really well, so looking forward to kicking him off as well.
Nish, well done on the weekend with Castagna. How's she come through that win?
Yeah, she's come through really well. Probably the top of the straight, you wouldn't have thought she was going to win the race, but she showed that really good turn of foot, and she's only going to get better once we stretch her out to the 1200.
And all systems go as she continues through the prep now?
Yeah, I think the plan will probably go to the Sweet Embrace or the Riesling, probably more likely the Sweet Embrace. And if she can show up again there, then probably puts her in the picture for the big race.
All about the girls as we continue now and we look towards the light fingers. You've got Cristillian learning to fly. We'll touch on Cristilli first, who seems like she's really matured this prep.
Yeah, I thought that was a terrific run first up. She actually ran home the same 600 as Lady Laguna, so it's probably a bit of a hidden run in some ways, but from where she was, last prep she was doing everything wrong, but she's just mentally in a much better place at the moment. So yeah, really happy with her, and she's a big chance on Saturday.
And we saw Learning to Fly have a gallop on Saturday at the races at Randwick. Are you happy with her work there?
Yeah, really happy with her. She'd had the 2 trials at home, so I was keen to just give her a trip away, particularly with it being such a long time since she's been to the races. But she galloped really well. She's got a big, powerful stride. She's very straightforward, and really looking forward to getting her back to the races.
It must be great to have her back after the well-documented setback there in the slipper. I was walking through the stalls and I had to double take. I didn't recognise her. She's filled out so much.
Yeah, I mean, she's always been a scopy filly and always sort of promised to be better physically again at 3, but yeah, she's a big imposing filly. She's quite sort of long. She's got plenty of length to her, and you can really see that in her action as well. But it's going to be a strong race. There's a lot of good fillies around, so she'll need to be at her best, but I'm really confident that we've got her going well at home.
Really looking forward to seeing her back. In the Benchmark 88, you've got Redstone Well, who ran a massive race last start, your European import in just his first preparation in Australia. Yeah,
another really nice import for Highclere. They certainly know how to find them. So we stick at this trip, and then he'll jump up to the 2000, which will probably be better suited in 2 weeks. But we just felt he's quite a strong travelling horse, so just felt we'd give him another run at this distance, and he's got James McDonald on board, so I think he looks a really nice chance for Saturday. Hopefully he can draw well.
In that same race, you've also got Claim the Crown, who ran 3rd last start, first up at Rosehill.
Yeah, he's been a frustrating horse because he's got ability, but we haven't seen him win for about a year. He won over the 1800 at Randwick, which is probably I'd say that's maybe his pet distance, but really good first up run over 1500. He's been a bit of a monkey in the barriers, but we've done a fair bit of work with him, so you're always holding your breath a bit when he's being loaded. But I thought he closed off really well first up. He's kept him quite fresh. He's a month between runs. He's had a tick over jump out here in between, and he certainly won't be out of it.
And then lastly, your son of Dubious, that is Deputised, who has the Switzerland and Castagna form from the last race there we saw him in. Will he line up in the Pierrot Plate?
Yeah, he's in the Pierrot Plate, and he's drawn well on Wednesday as well. So we haven't decided exactly where we go yet. We're probably leaning towards Wednesday, because keen to try and, if we can, get a maiden out of the way with him. But he surprised me first up. I thought he'd be up on the bunny. and he was actually just a bit green and lost, and I didn't expect him to be travelling at the back of the field, but he closed off really well. He's got loads of ability, and I think he'll be a big improvement from first up to second up.
Joe, let's start down in Melbourne. You've got Private Eye, who we see in the Lightning. How's he?
Great, very, very happy with him. So did his final piece of work here this morning and trial last week at Rose Hill. Looking forward to seeing him down the straight again. He's been very effective there in the past, and a very good horse fresh. So it's an exciting race. Been sort of waiting for a while, I guess, for Imperatrice to take on some of the other top liners, and I think whenever these good horses clash, and to have it happen so early in the carnival, it's very good.
And then we'll stay away so far from the weekend and just touch on Think About It. How has he been, and what did he do this morning?
Yeah, brought a smile to my face yesterday with a really nice trial. Just had an easy morning this morning. Trial again here 2 weeks' time, and then off to Randwick for the Canterbury Stakes, which is on the 9th of March. And that 1300 sort of mark to resume, and I think it's about spot on for him.
Braveheart, and I think you could say stable favourite, Coal Crusher, is resuming in the Expressway Stakes on the weekend. How's he been?
Yeah, look, he's been good. He's a horse who generally takes a run or two to get to his peak, but he's off a much shorter let-up than he's had previously. But been pleased with him, and expect him to run a good race, but take very good improvement out of it.
Two horses that look as though they've come back in really good form. Of course, Estadio Mestalla, last start winner, is in the Benchmark 88, as well as Mission Phoenix.
Estadio Mestalla is good. I'm happy with him. A good win last start after being a bit unlucky. Not much luck in the run behind More Victorious, who come out and won again. So those form lines seem to be pretty strong through there at the moment. Up to a mile, which shouldn't pose a problem for him. Racing really well, and he'd be hard to beat again. You
also have an interesting horse who, or for mine, I've followed since she stepped out at the early 2-year-old trials, and that's Wild Botanica. She's now a 4-year-old, and she ran second at Warwick Farm last start. How is she, and will we see her Friday night?
Yeah, definitely see her Friday night. I was really happy with her. I thought her first up run here was excellent. Had a tough run in transit, didn't get any cover, but was really strong through the line, and I think the step out to the 1100's spot on for her. I'd love to see her draw a gate, and she'd be very hard to beat.
Chances are you're about to lose. For free and confidential support, call the number on the screen or visit the website.